Come on now. You already know what this is. First things first, God did this. Don't get mad with us. I'm your humble host, your man, your myth, your legend, Eric Knight. And we got my man BJ on here with us today, man. We on here
Yo,
talking about the AEW Maximum Carnage today, man. I ain't gonna lie, this was a really, really good episode. You know how it is, man. It's like that main event type feel, that pay per view on a weekly episode. Man, let's go ahead and let's just go ahead and talk about the AEW Dynamite Maximum Carnage. Man. They really they went crazy with this, man. Tony, you cooked up as usual, and I ain't gonna cap, man. Starting this whole show off, man. I mean, just let's just get right ahead on into it, man. Starting off with this first match. Darby Allen versus Pac. Okay, this was wild. Okay, this was crazy. This spot, first of all, my God. I mean, man, it just Pac just knocking Darby Allen into the stairs. I said, my God. I mean, mind you, the match didn't even freaking start yet. Okay, we're talking about this before the match was even going on and before the bell even rang. It was outside the ring, going crazy. But Darby,
mhm.
okay, Darby, this was crazy, man. Hitting
That
that
man
coffin
Darby.
drop on that ankle with the steel chair. I said, man, come on, Darby, this is crazy. Messing up Pac's ankle to the point to where Darby, okay, hitting. Come on, man, look at this. This was insane, man. Caused my man Pac to tap. And this was the finish here, man. I'm not even gonna lie. This match was brutal. This match was crazy. It's crazy. I was on the phone with my mom. Shout out to Mother Night. I was on the phone with her while we was watching this match, and she said the same things I was thinking. I said, Darby, what is wrong with you? Why are you still doing this stuff? But hey, honestly, Darby, look, man, I done told you this plenty of times before. Like, you ain't got to keep putting your body on the line like this. Okay, you do not have to keep doing this to yourself. I mean, to the point, man. I was like, my God. But again, pulled off a banger. To see now Darby defeating everybody on the freaking Death Riders, I think says a lot. But we'll see what happens with it. BJ, what's your thoughts, man? What you think?
Man, listen, this match was pretty cool. They had that spot where Darby Allin did the coffin drop off of one of the parts of the stage or something. When they went to the crowd and had that coffin drop spot. That was a cool spot. I mean, it was a pretty good match. I'm glad that they have put hopefully a nice little bookend on this Darby Allin and Death Rider storyline. I do think that we will see some more hints to where Darby will go next, and I think that will be more so the AEW World Title. Don't know when, and I don't know exactly how, but we'll get there at some point.
Yeah, yeah, I definitely agree with you on that, man. I can see that. I can really see that for Darby. I think mainly too, when we look at everything as a whole, I think Darby's definitely going to be due for that AEW World Title scene very soon, especially with MJF, man. I think I can definitely see that happening. So yeah, I definitely agree. But let's go ahead and keep going into this, man, because this got crazy. Samoa Joe, okay, Samoa Joe. This man, I ain't gonna lie. Samoa Joe, he was on to something with this man. This man, Samoa Joe, putting a bounty, okay, on Adam Hangman Page, okay, the bad apple, the bounty hunter, okay, Brian Keith facing off Adam Hangman Page, okay. You see what happened? Big Bill out there, okay, trying to, you know, grabbing up Adam Hangman Page. Oh, but who comes out? That man Swerve. I love how we did this too. Swerve coming out with the chain. evening up the odds, beating the hell out of Big Bill to the point where Adam Hangman Page, okay, gets the reversal on Brian Keith, hits his buckshot lariat, and honestly loved it and beat him for that 1, 2, 3. Now, what was interesting after that, Adam Hangman Page telling Samoa Joe, okay, that he's gonna be taking everything from him. I said, man, come on, Adam Hangman, man, stop playing with this. I love this. Swerve, okay, telling MJF that him and Adam Heyman Page will both be coming for that AEW World Heavyweight title. I said, man, come on, Swerve. I love this. I love this. And he talked about how he wanted to see that back on his waist. But speaking of that, that man, Kenny Omega comes out. I said, man, come on, Kenny. What are you doing this for, man? Why you gotta bring your presence out, man? You the wrestling guy. You ain't gotta do much. But he also said that he's coming for the AEW World Title. He knows that he can't just snap his fingers and get himself a match, which he could easily do, but he's not like that. He said he about to earn some matches. He's about to beat some really good challengers. And he said that the best competitors for the AEW title was in that ring. I said, man, come on, Kenny. Where do you get that respect? Adam Hangman Page telling him if he has to go through him, he'll do it and may the best man win. And man, I thought this was great. I thought this was excellent to see this whole segment here. But then, come on, man. I ain't that man, Don freaking Callis, man. Don Callis, man. I love this. Telling Kenny Omega, look, you might call yourself a wrestling god. You might think you have to wrestle some people, but I got somebody for you. Of course, he brings on his man, Josh Alexander. It's going to be Josh Alexander versus Kenny Omega next week on Dynamite. He said, man, look, yeah, I thought it was funny, man. This man, Don Callis, said, you ain't going to be making no moves till daddy says so. Man, they was up in the comments calling him Daddy Don Callis. I said, man, this is good stuff. This is good stuff. And the crazy thing was, man, and I'm about to talk about it, man, because we're gonna talk about that tag team match because that was the next thing that came about. But man, I gotta do it. My man Don Callis with the slaps. Gotta do it, bro.
Just got very rich from taking out Jet Speed, and it's Jake Doyle. This guy is an animal, and this guy is an animal, and we're gonna kill some people. That's what we're gonna do. Are you ready for this? Are you ready for this? This is gonna be great. Give me ready. Ow. Let's go out.
Crazy.
Yo,
Crazy, man. I loved everything about this whole segment, though. First of all, the match, just going into it, Adam Hangman Page and Brian Keith, love what they did. Adam Hangman Page looking great, looking strong. But honestly, yeah, that segment after was Swerve and the wrestling god himself, Kenny Omega. Love to see how they had that whole interaction. Love to see if this is the direction we're going with the AEW title picture. And then, of course, my man Don Callis. I've been saying this. Don Callis gracing us with his presence, as always, with the Don Callis family. Man, just hearing that ambiance sound that comes out, and then immediately when people see his picture, he just smiling like I think it's the funniest thing ever, bro.
mm,
But I love the segment, man. I thought this was great. I like how they set us up for next week. I'm excited to see my man Kenny Omega coming back full time and to take on Josh Alexander. I think it's gonna be a banger. BJ, what's your thoughts, man? What you think?
man. First of all, I love the match, even though it was a short, relatively short match. But that was a good way to segue getting Hangman onto the show, and then plus it gave Brian Keith some TV time, so I was glad to see that. Um, I think Hangman is one of the most plug-in wrestlers that you can have on your roster. You have him have a 10-minute match, a 15-minute match, a 20-minute match. Doesn't really matter. He can do any sort of match type that you want him to do, and he's a great wrestler. So I was just pretty happy to see that. Him and Swerve, obviously, that segment. I was very happy to see him and Swerve, working together. Are they enemies? Are they friends? They're still figuring that part out. But hey, Listen, we got my main man, Kenny Omega. And Kenny, I think that he's going to be a major contender going into the summer of this year. I think that he's really either if he doesn't go for the title at Revolution, I think he'll go for it at around Double or Nothing. And I think we're gonna be seeing another Kenny Omega title reign sooner rather than later. I don't think it's gonna be long, but it's gonna be a nice one to kind of send Kenny Omega home for the final time for his last run.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah, I can see that. I between him and Will Ospreay, I'm like, it's between one of those two. I feel like too is gonna also be in that title picture, especially when Will Ospreay comes back. But yeah, I agree with you on that, BJ. I think for sure we can definitely see Kenny Omega definitely with that title soon,
Yeah,
man.
especially with both. If either one is if Will isn't healthy, then we'll probably get Kenny at some point getting the title, or if Will only comes back for a short program and he goes back to Japan, we can we can do whatever we can plug it in however we want to plug it in. So
Yeah.
that will be a dope experience to see either one.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think too, I think Swerve is gonna be in that picture too, because it seemed like it really like I don't see Adam Heyman and Page getting that title back this year. Like I for some
No.
reason I just it's too many people that haven't had it again yet. Definitely Swerve being one of those people. Definitely Kenny Omega being one of those people. Will Ospreay still hasn't had it yet. So I think it's gonna be some time. I think especially with Adam Hangman Page, I can see him kind of getting into some other things, dabbling into some other storylines. But we'll see, man. It's a big possibility. The way they're kind of shaping this out, it's like it's anybody's game, and I'm loving how they're doing
hmm
that.
Yeah, I think they're gonna pull it out in a way where Hangman maybe does not win his contention match. And we get Swerve versus MJF. We get Kenny versus MJF. And then if Osprey is healthy enough, Osprey versus MJF are all in. Whatever they decide to do, I'm just like Tony Khan. I trust his booking. And he has
Yeah.
taught me to trust his booking. So I'm willing to ride in the car to see where his whatever destination is.
Yeah, man. I feel you on that one. Let's talk about this next match, man. This tag team match. I thought this was insane. Okay, you see word, man. Come on. You know what? Don, where you at? Go ahead. Let's get your slaps in for this one, cause your boys won this match here, boy.
Thing just got very rich from taking out Jet Speed, and it's Jake Doyle. This guy is an animal, and this guy is an animal, and we're gonna kill some people. That's what we're gonna do.
And that's exactly what they did, man. They killed this. Look, I ain't even gonna lie, man. This was a really good match. I truly enjoyed this match 100%. First of all, my man Toa. Okay, first of all, I love to see Ricochet on the commentary. He was great. Him and Don Callis. My man Toa though. I mean, that man was going crazy. I said, this big man has done a moonsault off the end of the apron. I said, man, come on, man. Even to the point where Ricochet was shocked. I said, man, go ahead, boy. But I thought this was great, man. I love this match. It was fun. Love to see what the Young Bucks was doing. Of course, seeing my man Speedball Mike Bailey what he was doing with the bus. I love how he hit the little back. Then they did the little back and forth with the kicks, hit his jaw. I said, man, come on, Speedball. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, I love this match though. I think this might have been one of my favorite matches of the night. Definitely was a banger. Of course, anytime you got the Bucks in it, it's gonna be a banger of a tag match, man. And you can tell, man. Like I say every time, anytime you got the Young Bucks in the match, their presence are always felt. But yeah, this was great. I was actually pretty shocked though, as to seeing Jake Doyle get that dub. I was shocked. I was like, damn, we just got this tag team together. So not mad about it because what we got after that I thought was really great. We're gonna talk about that in a minute. BJ, what's your thoughts, man? What you think?
Man, listen. Initially, with this match, I was like, this match can legit go either way. I was like, all these teams could have easily been believable to be contenders. Like that's the one thing I love about AEW's tag team division is that you have no tag team that you can say, well, they won't get it or they won't get it or they won't get it. No, every tag team, to my knowledge, has been believable. So I mean, you had GOA, you had Davis and Doyle, you had the Bucks, you had Jet Speed. I mean, those contenders were those were very viable contenders. I was honestly I was shocked by the Davis and Doyle win. My pick was either the Bucks or Jet Speed, but given what happens down the line in the show, I think I now understand why that didn't happen.
Yeah, yeah, man. Yeah, I agree. I feel like because the way how we seen how that whole thing transpired, let's go ahead and talk about it, man. Renee backstage talking with Kevin Knight and Jet Speed, she said, this hasn't been a great start to your year to 2026, but how do you, continue to move on up? And before they even got a chance to answer, Swerve, man, Swerve was walked right up to him, told Kevin Knight, when I was champion, you was one of the names I talked about, Tony Khan. He said you got a bright future. You're definitely gonna be a future AEW champion. Walks off. Then, okay, Adam Heyman Page declares that he is going to be facing Samoa Joe, really the ops, for those trios titles. And that's gonna be taking everything from him. And he said he's picking Jet Speed, okay. And I thought this was crazy. The crowd popped for this. I thought 100% this was a great setup for next week. Love to see this segment. Not even gonna lie, there wasn't that many backstage segments this week. I felt like, but I felt like it was okay because I felt like this week we really got a lot more of the wrestling. Not to say we don't always get that anyway, but
Yeah.
yeah, man, I love this setup. I like what they did. And shout out to my man. I always say long lost cousin Kevin Knox. Oh man, just a fellow night, man. But yeah, this was
Yeah.
great. I love this. And honestly, we're gonna see what happens, man. This is for Collision, so we're definitely gonna see. I think Collision is gonna be a really good show on Saturday. So I can't wait to see what happens. BJ, what's your thoughts, man? What you think?
Man, I was honestly when they brought this segment in, I said, "Oh Lord, what they about to do?" So I was genuinely surprised when Heyman said, "Oh yeah, by the way, y'all get your gear ready because we're gonna have a trios match on Collision." So I'm hyped for it. All I'm gonna say is we all know what's going on with Powerhouse Hobbs. So all I'm gonna say is watch Collision and just watch the match and be shocked with what may happen, what may or may not happen.
Mm.
That's all I'm gonna say is
Hmm.
watch Collision because I feel like Collision is going to have a very, very, very um nice ending to it, from what I've heard.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah. It's kind of crazy thinking about it now. Now that we know about everything with Powerhouse Hobbs, it's like, yeah, those titles might get dropped Saturday, but I'd be okay with that. I think that'd be interesting.
Yeah, because
I think. Go ahead, you got it, DJ.
what I was gonna say was I think that they're probably looking at it as we gotta put. It may not be a long reign for Heyman and just be if they do get them, but if they do get them, like it'll be a nice little setup reign to say, okay, this is preparing Jet Speed for the tag titles if they do get them.
Yeah, 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 and it's kind of crazy. That was just what I was about to say because think about it. Even though we never seen them with the tag team titles, I think seeing them with the trios titles, that still would be what would be great to see them with those anyway. So yeah, I mean they might have those titles for maybe like 2 3 months. I'm not gonna lie, the title runs in AEW I don't think really is a huge problem. And usually I would say anytime we've seen those title reigns, they've been making sense lately for the last year and a half. So I think they'll definitely do right by them. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
And I
Definitely
definitely
gonna be
think,
interesting.
and with the most recent announcement of a certain faction coming into AEW, they got
Yeah.
the perfect contenders for them.
Yeah,
They got some verbal
man.
contenders.
Yeah, man. The Rascals. That was crazy. I thought that was great to see. The Rascals, man. I mean, and it's
Yes,
good. I'm
sir.
proud. I'm proud to say, yeah, Wesley said he don't know who that person is. I said, you right, Wes. We don't know who Wesley is neither. I agree. I feel you. Uh, that's my man Desmond Xavier. You know what I'm saying?
Desmond Xavier.
Oh
Okay.
man, so it's good to see how they're doing that with that whole thing with the Rascals. I love that. Oh, let's talk about this real quick, man. Skyflight. Okay, Skyflight. I thought this was a great little a promo that they all cut. First of all, okay, my girl Zeta Steele. I be shy every time. I be like, the first time when she popped up, I said, "Hold the hell up!" I said, "It is that Zeta Steele?" I said, when did she make this move over? Crazy. I ain't gonna lie. Shorty jumped from one faction with Swipe, right, and all that, and got herself up into this one. I think that's great. I think she's a great addition for AEW. I think that's a great addition for the women's division. Again, to see the AEW women's division grow the way it does, I love it. And we're gonna talk about them in a minute. But yeah, I thought this was great. They kind of called out, the Don Callis family. They was calling out the Death Riders. I said, all right, now y'all gotta get some more, we gotta get some more traction for Skyflight. That being said, I love Top Flight. Those are my guys. I think those guys are great in the ring. I always saw Darius though, man. It was Darius and I'm trying to think of the other brother's name because
Dante.
Dante. Yeah, I feel like because Darius was one. He's been doing it for a good little minute. I know Dante. I believe Dante was the one that he was getting injured for a good little minute, and Darius was holding it down. So yeah, I ain't gonna lie, man. I think they've improved on the mic too. I think the promo skills. I said, all right, yeah, y'all sound believable now. Because the last few times, I remember they was trying to talk against the Hurt Syndicate. I said, yeah, see, I'm not believing in it. I'm not feeling it yet. But now I think with them working with Scorpio Sky, I was like, yeah, I think they got something here. But this is gonna be interesting, man. BJ, what you think, man? What's your thoughts on this?
Well, I'm gonna say this. For Jada Steele to be featured on a major program like this is very cool. I think that she's an incredible talent. Um, I do think unfortunately that Marina Shafir will tap her out come collision, but I think that she's an amazing talent. I think that Skyflight could very well also be a good contender for the trios titles at some point. I think that Scorpio Sky, if booked correctly, could have a great showing in the singles realm at some point. Um, but Dante and Darius Martin, they are the future of that tag division. Mm, eh, And whenever they choose to cash those chips in on them, they will be one of the hottest tag teams in wrestling. I can guarantee you that.
Yeah, yeah, I feel you on that one, man. Because I do feel like those guys have a bright future. They still young. I think what they were like, what 24, 25, something like that. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah. So I agree with you, man. They got a very bright future upon them, man. But we got to talk about this next match, man. This was another one of my favorites. I think the tag team matches was really like my favorite. This trios match here, man. I thought this was interesting. Okay, the Babes of Wrath and Chris Stanley are going up against man. I the Triangle of Madness, man. Like I ain't gonna lie, this was like a very very good match. Shout out to Sky Blue, man. She has been a MVP for the last few months, man. But I thought this was interesting. Tekla getting ready to spear Willow. Chris Statlander throwing Willow out of the way. Okay. You see what's going on with the Sisters of Sin, holding down Willow, okay, and Tekla hitting her spear on Chris Statlander. And this was the finish right here, man. I am not gonna lie. This was another banger, man. I really enjoyed this match here. This was something I really loved because I felt like they've been teasing this whole thing with Tekla and the Triangle of Madness and just her kind of always taking those little shots at Chris Statlander for the last few weeks, talking about her friendship. Oh, you have friends now, all of a sudden. I said, yeah, see, this is what I really love to see from the Triangle of Madness. Not gonna lie, kind of hurt me a little bit because I love to see my Long Island girls killing it, especially Willow and Chris Statlander. Love how to see they good use their good old tag team who they love to call the Long Island Railroad. I said, man, that hit home for me right there. That's how I know they was riding on that train like that. Pause. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I loved it. I love to see how this whole story is about to transpire. This is something I really love. Like I know I've been talking about this for a good little minute now, especially with Tekla and the Triangle of Madness. But to see now that ain't she got the pin on Chris Statlander, I said, all right. Tekla could be a contender to definitely take that title. I would not be mad about that. Because if that leads into the Sisters of Sin possibly later down the road getting the tag team titles, and we'll see all three of these women with all gold, man, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. I'd love to see that, man. I really would. BJ, what's your thoughts, man? What you think about it?
Now, I will say this. Initially, when I coming into this match, I'm hoping with all of the hype and the build up they put to this match that we will not get a quick match and that it'll be good and like it'll be good and it'll be fun, it'll be methodical and it'll be something where like everybody is showcased properly. I really loved this match. Um I loved how in sync, if it makes any sense, that the triangle of madness were, and then how visibly like you could tell with the Bates Raffin and Chris Stagnon they were like, okay, we're trying to learn how to go like do stuff as a team and work cohesively, and it show okay they're working things out as they're wrestling, and I love seeing just the chaos of it. I loved it, and then with Echo getting that surprise win, I was like, okay, this is clearly setting up Chris Stagnon versus Tekla. Um, maybe at the next pay per view, maybe the next special event, we don't really know what may happen.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm definitely very hyped for this next chapter for Chris Stagnon and seeing where she goes next.
Yeah. Yeah, man, I agree. I think this is gonna be good. I think this see, and then I'm thinking about it too, even with like with Blood and Guts, how that already was already still a story from there. And I think it really transpired from the Blood and Guts match, probably a little bit before that, probably like right when Chris Statlander had got that AEW Women's title, and I think
Hmm.
it went on from there. That's what I'm just saying, man. The storylines AEW's been doing, it's been good, man. And I tell people all the time, man, if they saying, "Oh, the storyline's a mid," you ain't watching it enough. There's no
Yeah,
way. There's
yeah,
no way you ain't watching this and you saying, "Nah, this is mid." No, I mean, come on. They're
not
giving
me.
us good, lengthy storylines that are lasting for months. That are like the payoffs are making sense, like the timing of it. You can't tell me this is mid, but I just don't. I don't like. I tell people, bro, there's no way you're watching the same thing I am. Ain't
Yeah,
no way.
yeah. Like AW storylines are like good cases, like good cases in terms of when you're a police officer and you have a case and you're trying to solve it, you gotta follow all the proper steps to get to the proper like okay, this is what the investigation looks like. Okay, I gotta look and see what the evidence is and how I get into it, the intricate details of it all. That's what AW storylines are really like. They challenge you to not only just watch, but pay attention to what the wrestlers say and do, how they win their matches, how they lose their matches, and it helps with the overall story. And that's what I love about AEW is that like they actually make you think about the storylines, and they don't insult your intelligence as a
Yeah,
fan.
yeah,
They actually expect the fans to pay attention and to learn as they are doing the storylines and stuff.
yeah. And I think that's the main important thing, man. Like One thing I feel like too, I feel like we always say too about AEW is like the beautiful thing about it is like you can't predict it, you don't really know, you can
Right.
guess, but it's not a guarantee you're gonna get that right every time. And I think that's what I love about it, how unpredictable it can be, just how it kind of keeps us on the toes, like, yeah, I don't know what's about to happen. And I love that beauty, that magic that they got about it, man. So
Yeah, and that's what I love about AW in general is like the unpredictability. It gives me a lot of the Ruthless Aggression era feel of like you got to tune into SmackDown, you got to tune into Raw, but like just like for me, it's like tune in to Dynamite, you got to tune into Collision because you never know what may happen. You never know what match you might miss. You never know. So I have always loved the unpredictability factor when it comes to AEW, and that's really what I believe AEW has really done well with is like we're gonna cash in on this unpredictability and we're gonna keep the train rolling.
yeah, I agree. Oh man, all right. Well, let's talk about this main event, man. I ain't gonna lie. This main event here was something else. Okay, look at this, man. MJF, okay,
Yes,
getting
sir.
ready to try to make this man Bandito tap, man. I thought this was crazy. Okay, Bandito refusing that he was not going to tap, and he didn't. And I love this. I love the fact that he didn't tap. Kept Bandito strong. You made MJF still look good, and this was how you're supposed to do it right here. You let Bandito pass out. That's what I thought was great. Bandito passed out, and he didn't tap out. But what I loved was after MJF said, "Man, let me get a mic." Gave respect to Bandito. That was a damn shock. I ain't even gonna lie. Said that Bandito is going to be a AEW world champion soon in the future. I said, that's right. I can see that. I can see that. And then he said, what's gonna suck about this he says, I got to do this. Took the belt and started attacking this man, Bandito. I said, man, come on, MJF. Starting to beat the hell out of him. I mean, I said, come on, man. This ain't even right here, what you doing here. This was just great heel work right here. Then said he was gonna demask. Okay. Remove the mask from Bandito. I said, man, come on, bro. Chill. But Brody Lee coming out to save Bandito. Okay. You see what happened. My man MJF, again, the fastest man alive. And I ain't talking Barry Allen, Wally West, or Bart Allen when it comes to this man running off. I said, my God. And it ended with Brody Lee helping a Bandito, crowd still giving those cheers and going crazy. And this is the finish right here. Yeah, man. Look, I'm not gonna lie. I enjoyed this match with MJF. I think again, anytime when this man is running off like the track star that he is, I love to see that too. I need to find a clip. If anybody has made a clip of just MJF taking off running, I don't think anybody has done it. If not, I gotta make one. This man, it's hilarious. Between him and Don Callis, I gotta see them run a damn race. I mean,
Yeah.
because I'm like, yo, y'all are so freaking fast. He's probably gonna be the fastest white man I have seen run. I said, man, this is crazy. It's insane, man. Look. But yeah, man, look, this is a great match. Love to see what Bandito did with MJF. Love the magic, the spots that they did. Bandito really having that main event. That man shows he's built for that main event. So I don't think he has to prove nothing else when it comes to that. But yeah, the disrespect that MJF was trying to do, removing the mask. I love that that's his thing. Again, with any freaking luchador, like that's become his thing since last year. I'm all for it. I don't give a damn. MJF is doing great work. Love what he did. Long Island. Love to see you representing as always, bruh. And Bandito going crazy. I'm not gonna lie, sooner or later, I feel like Brody Lee is going to turn on Bandito, man. I don't know. I know it sounds crazy right now, but it's something about it, bruh. something about him like one of these days, man.
Mm,
I just feel like he might turn on this man. I thought it was gonna happen last night. So I don't know. We'll see. I thought, maybe a turn because he didn't win that title. But who knows, man? But I got some suspicions about it. Mark my words, bro. If it ain't happening around this month, I get maybe till March or April he gonna turn on Bandito, bro. We'll see. We'll see. BJ,
yeah,
what's your thoughts, man? What you think about it?
yeah, we'll definitely see about that because I don't see Brody King um turning on Bandito, bro. They got that Rey Mysterio and Batista type relationship, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I
But
don't
see
think that.
that's why I say you got to watch out because you remember how Batista did Rey Mysterio back
Yeah,
then.
yeah,
So you never know,
yeah,
bro. You
yeah.
never know.
It took that one clothesline to the head, to that one clothesline to Ray's head off. So I mean, listen, the same visual could happen. The same visual could happen. But um, let me pull out this. I said on my Instagram story that like this was my match of the night. So seeing Bandito in that Aztec gear, the MJF coming out in that varsity jacket with the scarf and having his flag being like behind him when he did it when he did his introduction, that was cool. He like MJF legitimately has one of the coolest entrances in wrestling. Also does Bandito does as well. Um, so I was really hyped up for this match. I was hoping that they weren't gonna go with the tap out finish. So when they had Bandito pass out, I was like, good. Like,
Yeah,
so I know for this that hopefully this is not a goodbye for Bandito in terms of the title scene, but this is a see you later. Like, because he'll be back. I sincerely believe this man will be back.
yeah, yeah. I agree, man. I think he'll definitely be back in that title picture soon. Saying this, and that's what's crazy about it, man. They done had a few of these situations. I feel like to where I'm like, okay, y'all got something with this here. Y'all definitely do. And I feel like, man, when we look at the whole situation right now with especially with Bandito and with MJF, I'm like, okay, just like you said, even if it don't happen around again this year, I could see them circling back to this later down the road and just making this another storyline. And I think they'll definitely capitalize on it. I don't think they've really missed when it comes to the callbacks. I feel like we've seen that especially with Adam Heyman Page like a few weeks ago. The whole thing with him in the Dark Order. I said, man, this ain't 2020 and 2021.
Yeah,
I said, man. So yeah, I think I think they'll definitely deliver when it comes to either the callbacks, the storyline. I think Bandito, and it seems like more when it's like I believe hearing like I felt like this week on Dynamite, I felt like they kind of told us like, yeah, future champions, a Kevin Knight, a Bandito. I said yes, this was good, man. And of
one of
course, oh, you got it.
my bad. My 2026 one of my 2026 predictions was that Kevin Knight was going to be a TNT champion. So whenever that does happen, I can definitely see him either taking over Mark Briscoe or being like a top contender to be a TNT champion at some point. So I definitely see him having a bright future. Like there's a lot of wrestlers that I see having just a landmark year this year.
Yeah. Yeah, especially my man Speedball Mike Bailey. Okay.
Yeah.
Especially Speedball, man. I ain't gonna lie, but I think I feel like he's one of those guys that's definitely like kind of I'm not even gonna say won me over, like I didn't like him. But I think to me, I'm just like, nah, bro. Like he's one of those I'm like, nah, I enjoy watching Speedball Mike Bailey in a match every time. Like even when it was him and the Bucks, I was like, "Ooh, damn, I was like, like man, I love to see the way how he works, man. He's really like amazing to watch in the ring. He's definitely one of my favorites. Like I love Kevin Knight. Don't get me wrong, but Some of that man speedball, bruh.
Oh
It's
yeah.
a different type of time, man.
Well, the thing with Speedball is one thing I like about him is his authenticity. He is authentically himself. He's authentically and unapologetically himself. And that's something we can all learn from. So I mean, he gives a lot of people like myself, like I'm like, oh, he's just himself. He's not playing a character. This is him. So I
Yeah.
mean, I really love Speedball and his style of wrestling. Obviously, he's one of my favorite wrestlers. I do see a lot of great things in his future as well. But um, he's a great wrestler. He's very authentic and unapologetically himself. So I really do love what Speedball is doing.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And I thought that it was interesting. It was like, yeah, even what was it like Sky Flight, still a few people we haven't seen in a little minute, Kyle Fletcher. Felt like I ain't seen no Powder in a little high, little second. So I mean it's different too. And I feel like even when we don't see certain people on a certain week, we didn't see Mercedes Monet this week. We know she said she's taking a little break. I get it. She need that mental break right now. She going crazy.
Hmm.
But even somebody like a Mercedes Monet not showing up this week was like, okay, that's fine because even then we still had a whole lot of women in the women's division and their storyline was still cooking. And I was like, well, this is a great substitution.
I mean, that's the
So
one. That's one of the good things about star power, though, is like whenever you don't have a certain person on the show, it's their absence is felt whenever they're not
yeah,
there. So I
yeah,
mean, that's one thing I do like about the roster, that you can have so many different people come in and you be like, oh, but where's this person? Where's this person? Where's this person? And it makes you, all the more be hungry to see the next person whenever they do come. You know.
yeah, yeah, that's true, man. Because I think like whenever Kyle Fletcher come back, people gonna be like, yeah, there he is,
See,
the proto star. So yeah, I definitely agree. Especially even of course with the CEO. So yeah, I agree, man. It's something about that hunger, but I love the way how Tony is utilizing all of his people. Even if somebody not here this week, okay, cool. Well, let's go ahead and do this storyline now. All right, they ain't here for this one. All right, cool. Let's go ahead and continue. I think he's doing great stuff. And then new storylines are starting up on the midst, like in the midst of that. So Tony, Chef Tony, you're cooked up as always, man. I'm always proud. And since that's the case, man, we gotta give you a good old Woody with the woo walk. Hit it,
yeah,
Woody.
Bentley. Hit him up if he keep looking. Hit the way when I'm broke. It's still a Mary for the dinner.
Man. Had to do it. And of course, I'd be capping if I didn't say that this week, of course, Maximum Carnage did
it was
not give.
it was
Come on,
goosebumps. It was
come on,
goosebumps.
man. It gave
It was
those rock
goosebumps.
freaking tails, man. Rock chills, man. It's the rock chills, boy.
Yes,
Oh man.
sir.
But as always, please make sure y'all follow all of our social medias. I tell y'all this all the time. Y'all already know what to do. Facebook, we on that. X, we on that. Instagram, we're on that. And TikTok, we're on that as well. Hey, look, we're sitting at 251 subscribers right now. Appreciate all the love and support, y'all. Look, we at 251. Let's get it to 300. Once we get to 300, then let's knock it up to 350. Once we get to 350, let's see for the 400. Look, I'm giving y'all 50, 50 subscriber goals here. I'm not gonna sit here and try to keep taking it to 100 and 100 and 100. If we doing it, let's do it. Let's do it for the love of the game. But you know what I mean by that, man. Look, we love the support. Appreciate the follows. Appreciate the likes, the comments y'all doing. Hey, shout out to my man Tyree Taylor for that interview the other day. Appreciate you coming on with us, man. And of course, again, I love to see my TikTok family. Y'all see my man BJ on here. Shout out to my girl Ladybug. Shout out to Ovi Dub. Shout out to Polo. Shout out to my man Hills for Life. Chris, 13 Thoughts, Bro Kage. Shout out to Star. Man, look, shout out to all my people out there. Godfather, Tasha, Tamika, all my people out there. Tiffany, Kachuga, Kachuga, Kachow. But no, yeah, man, look, I really appreciate the love and support from all you guys, especially on TikTok. We're looking at about what 605 followers, I believe, on TikTok. So keep doing that. Look, I'm gonna be doing some live panels soon. I promise y'all. I promise y'all. Do not worry. It is going to be coming around very, very soon. But again, keep liking that content. Keep following because you know we're gonna give you that content the exclusive way. Come on, man. Y'all already know what it is. Oh man. But as always, I'm your humble host, your man, your myth, your legend, Eric Knight. And we have my man BJ on here with us again, giving us that great insight from AEW. Look, man, this was a great episode. Can't wait to see what happens next week. And you know this gonna be crazy, man. You got anything else for us, BJ? I know you got some up in there.
Well, listen, I it was great to be on. I'm always honored to be on. So I got a lot of stuff cooking up in the kitchen for my TikTok and also for the YouTube. Go follow me at BJ_SJ on YouTube and also on TikTok and on Instagram as well. Um, got a lot of wrestling and pop culture stuff going on. I'm gonna be commenting on. Um, obviously, um, AW Grand Slam Australia. I'll be doing stuff on that. I'll be doing one of the house rules as well. Um, and I may be dipping into the TNA bag. I don't know yet, but we will see. We will see.
Nah, I definitely felt that one, man. Oh man, yeah, man. I can't wait to see what's going on with them. So we're probably gonna be tapping in with them as well soon as well. I might have to make a new segment for that one, man. I might have to do something for that to start covering those
Yeah,
guys, man. TNA now that they got that TV deal. It's crazy because I know they just about to be off now. So we're gonna have to see what they cooked up over there with TNA, but we'll see. Well, as always, I'm your humble host, your man, your myth, your legend, Eric Knight. And we have my man BJ on here with us, man, killing it as always. Because we are the exclusive Nights of Wheels, the show to where the best there is, the best there was, and best it ever will
ever will
be.
be.
That's right, man. Until you ensure that your nights will never be the same. Y'all be good. Y'all be blessed.